Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer is an icy, apocalyptic world. It takes place after a failed attempt to stop global warming using the artificial cooling agent CW7, which freezes the Earth. The last of humanity now survives aboard a massive train that never stops moving. What makes this a dystopia isn't just the frozen climate, but the inhumane system inside the train. If you were lucky enough to be rich, you'd live up front with fresh meals and comfort. If not, you'd be trapped in the filthy tail section, fed insect bars, and treated like an animal. But what's worse is the way Mr. Wilford keeps it all running. As the mastermind behind the train, he controls everything. When space runs low, he doesn't offer solutions. Instead, he stirs up riots, letting passengers wipe each other out while he sits safe and comfortable up front. And if that wasn't grim enough, Curtis Everett, the leader of the tail section revolt, once confessed that in the early days, the survivors turned to cannibalism. He even almost killed a baby for food, but Gilliam, another survivor, stopped him. That baby later grew up to be Edgar, Curtis's closest friend, which only deepens his guilt. In Snowpiercer, you either accept the system, help enforce it, or rebel and risk everything. There's no real safety. Whether you climb forward or try to escape, survival always demands something cold-blooded. Deus Ex. Deus Ex is a cyberpunk dystopia set in the year 2052, where the world is crumbling under the grip of a deadly nanovirus known as the Grey Death. With governments weakened and in chaos, real power has shifted to secret organizations and global megacorporations. In the middle of this collapsing world, let's pretend you are JC Denton, a nano-augmented agent working for the United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition, also known as UNATCO. Your mission is simple. You just need to recover stolen vaccine shipments, but the deeper you go, the more disturbing truths begin to surface. You'll discover that the virus was engineered, the elite hoard the cure, and the world is being manipulated by forces far beyond the public eye. As you uncover more, you see how the boundaries between man and machine blur with cybernetic implants, while powerful AI systems and secretive groups like Majestic 12 and the Illuminati control global events from behind the scenes. The more you get involved, the harder it becomes to tell who's really pulling the strings, and it doesn't stop there. At every turn, there's the loss of free will, mass manipulation, and identity erasure. The deeper you're augmented, the more you risk losing your humanity. Here, survival isn't just about living, it's about the choice to control the future, whether by aligning with powerful AI, handing power to the Illuminati, or taking down the system completely. In Deus Ex, it's all about deciding who gets to rule. Children of Men. Set in 2027, Children of Men is a world on the brink of extinction due to an infertility pandemic. No child has been born in 18 years, and humanity faces slow, silent collapse. Nations fall one by one, but Britain survives by sealing its borders and turning into a fortified prison state. However, survival in the UK comes with a brutal price. Refugees are hunted, locked inside detention camps, and deported. The government offers no future, only strict control, and the streets are soaked in fear while the last sparks of human kindness fade away. At the center of it all is Theo, a former activist who lost hope in humanity, especially after the untimely death of baby Diego. But everything changes when he meets Key, a young refugee carrying the first child the world has seen in nearly 2 decades. Protecting her becomes more than survival. It becomes his mission. Theo's journey is not just about saving a life, it is about finding a reason to hope again. As he puts it, I can't really remember when I last had any hope, and I certainly can't remember when anyone else did either. If you were in this world, becoming a parent wouldn't be so bad, because instead of responsibilities, you'd be treated like a celebrity. Warhammer 40,000. Next is a realm set in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. Warhammer 40,000 is where humanity exists under the Imperium of Man, a crumbling, galaxy-spanning empire ruled by dogma, sacrifice, and the long-dead body of the Emperor. It all began with the Horus Heresy, a betrayal that shattered everything. The Emperor's own son led the revolt, leaving the Emperor dying and sealing the Imperium's fate. Though this universe looks fantastic, especially if you're a Star Wars fan, trust me, you would not want to be here. In this world, survival means giving up your freedom, your knowledge, and even your sense of self. The Imperium crushes all individuality. It worships ancient technology no one fully understands and fears the very psykers it depends on. And while Space Marines are created only to kill, the rest of mankind is crammed into hive cities, living without sunlight, without peace, and barely with purpose. Even if you escape the Imperium, you are still trapped in a galaxy filled with chaos gods, alien swarms, and the warp, a dimension that drives minds insane. So if you lived in Warhammer 40,000, it's either you fight, obey, or vanish. Those are your only choices. The Road. The Road unfolds in a dying world, a place where an unknown disaster has reduced Earth to ash and silence. Nature is extinct, the sun is obscured, and what remains of humanity drifts through a grey wasteland, stripped of colour and hope. At the heart of it all is a father and his son. They journey south in search of warmth, scavenging for food, avoiding cannibalistic gangs, and surviving on scraps. Their bond is the only flicker of light in a world consumed by death. This world is dystopian because it's beyond the point of collapse. Civilization has crumbled, leaving behind a lawless, trustless landscape. Cannibalism is a daily reality. People aren't just desperate, they've become feral. Some of the darkest moments in the story include a cellar filled with people being farmed for meat, and a father whose health is rapidly deteriorating, simply waiting for death to come. But perhaps the most heartbreaking scene is the campfire where a baby is roasted. But despite it all, one moment stands out when the father tells his son, "We're carrying the fire." It's not just a promise, but a belief in the goodness that remains, no matter how dreadful the world becomes. To survive here is to refuse to become the monster. In this world, living means holding on to what makes you human. 1984 traps us in a grim, post-atomic future. The world is divided into three superstates, with Oceania, formerly Britain, ruled by a totalitarian regime led by Big Brother. Surveillance is constant, propaganda is truth, and rebellion is thought crime. This world is rotten to the core. Newspeak limits thought by shrinking language, while the thought police erase dissent before it even begins. The party controls not just actions, but beliefs, rewriting history and warping reality to maintain its grip on power. Memories are no safer than the present, constantly rewritten to suit the party's narrative. More terrifying than anything is the omnipresent telescreen. It watches you, listens to you, and feeds you propaganda day and night. Then there's doublethink, forcing you to accept two contradictory ideas at once. When you're finally caught, Room 101 waits to break you, using your worst fear as a weapon. This isn't just control over what you do, but over who you are and what you believe. In this world, you don't live, you obey. And eventually, you forget what freedom ever felt like. Neon Genesis Evangelion. In Neon Genesis Evangelion, the world is still scarred by the Second Impact, an apocalyptic event in 2000 that wiped out half of humanity. Now, in 2015, the survival of the human race depends on a group of teenagers who pilot massive biomechanical machines called Evangelions to fight against mysterious beings known as angels. Shinji Ikari, a reluctant 14-year-old, is thrust into the cockpit of Evangelion Unit 01 by his distant father, Gendo Ikari. Alongside fellow pilots Rei Ayanami and Asuka Langley, Shinji must confront not only the angels but also the dark secrets surrounding the organization, NERV, and its true agenda, the Human Instrumentality Project. This dystopia isn't defined by ruined cities, but by broken minds. Children are forced into the roles of warriors. NERV's hidden goals, combined with the Human Instrumentality Project's aim to erase individuality and merge human souls, present a chilling vision of the future. What's more disturbing than the angels are the emotional and psychological tolls on the pilots. Rei, a clone, is just one of many manipulated by NERV. The dummy plug system, which removes the need for a pilot's soul, only deepens the loss of agency. And instrumentality? It's mass erasure disguised as salvation. Ultimately, in Evangelion, the true battle isn't against the angels, but losing your humanity. The Matrix. The Matrix is a cold, digital prison. In a future where machines use humans for energy, the world we think we know is just lines of code. The real world, now a devastated wasteland, is long abandoned by humanity. People are kept in pods, their bodies harvested for bioelectric power while their minds are trapped in a simulated reality. The story follows Neo, a hacker drifting through life until a group of rebels led by Morpheus offers him a choice. He can take the blue pill and remain in the illusion, or take the red pill and wake up to the brutal truth. Neo chooses the red pill, and the simulated world around him begins to collapse. Soon, he awakens in the real world, a wasteland where machines harvest human energy. As he emerges from his pod, Morpheus greets him with the simple words,
"Welcome to the real world."
What Neo sees next is a reality far worse than anything he imagined. Freedom here was never real. The Matrix lets you believe you're alive while quietly controlling your every thought and decision. Every move feels scripted, like you're just another conscious character in The Sims. To win in the Matrix means choosing between a comforting lie and a freedom so brutal it could break you. That's a glimpse into some of fiction's darkest dystopias. Think you'd survive? Hit subscribe and ring the bell for more. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.